Greetings, Tecmo fans. This is Trojan1979, presenting to you another GBLAN Tecmo Super Bowl online tournament group play game between, as the New York Gents, Arncoem, and Ryan11P as the Denver Broncos. Arncoem is the number 1 seed, Ryan11P is the number 2 seed, and Arncoem is the host. I'm just going to call these guys Arn and Ryan because there's a whole lot of characters there, and who knows if I'm pronouncing this correctly. So here we go. New York Jets. Arn's going to go ahead and kick off, defer to the second half. Pretty typical in Tecmo to try to force that extra possession in the second half and play defense. Put the pressure on player 2. Now this is a matchup that seems to be kind of a trend here. Last few games that I've called, seen some pretty out-of-the-box matchups. Teams that I wouldn't normally feel that are necessarily balanced. And I'd be really interested, not only from the players who participated in this, but, those veterans in the community. What's the intriguing part about this? What would make one call that? I know Arn is known for his tapping ability. Ryan has decent tapping ability, but Arn should win every interaction here unless he's slow to the button. Ryan, a very in-depth, knowledgeable player of the game, inside and out. You see Arn is tapping a 15 there. That's pretty elite territory. You're probably in the top 5% of Tecmo players if you're tapping 15. Ryan moving the ball here pretty effectively so far. Had a good return, dodged that fumble. And Humphrey against McMillan here. And we get the blocker help. And Humphrey couldn't quite break away from the pack there. Drone dive got it. And that could have been a touchdown potentially or near it. If Humphrey gets loose, that's pretty dangerous. That's the really you're looking at the strong receiving core, tight end, 2 decent wideouts. Elway is garbage despite the fact he's got 25 running speed. That's really his redeeming quality. You don't want to be throwing anywhere to covered receivers. JJs are very difficult with that speed, so you're looking to stress with his running ability. And then Humphrey is obviously a threat as well, but you got to take great care with the ball when you're Elway. On defense, you've got Dennis, Bird, Clifton, and McMillan are your best defenders. And I don't think McMillan has the spacing there to make that stop. And Paul Green has the touchdown. Didn't get to see the alignment there as far as the players. My guess is that he's electing to put more hitting power on the field at his skill positions. As Dennis Bird does have the ability to popcorn lower your typical wide receivers. And if Paul Smith is up top, he's definitely going to have better effectiveness using run 1. Although right now it looks like Dennis Bird has not been the chosen defender, and he's been going with McMillan. Probably because of that alignment. Cole's run 1 there. Arn's in a hole. Pro set formation. And this time it looks like we're going to be using Smith on defense for Ryan. Goes right back to run 1. And it gives up a reasonable game, but now it's 4th down. Decision time early in the game. Down a touchdown. And we have a called play. And as the first quarter is winding down, we have 2 seconds left. We now have a first and goal, already down 7. Not a great place to be if you're Arn. Clifton, the chosen defender here, surprisingly survives the popcorn attempt by the blocker while grappled and lives for another down here. Let's see if we can keep him out of the end zone. And this time Dennis Bird is caught up, despite the speed, cannot keep up with Bobby Humphrey, who is a top-tier running back in this game. Especially at this tier of teams, he is a force. So Ryan up early. Start of the second quarter, already up 14-0. Arn does get the possession at the end of or at the start of the second half, so just needs to keep calm here and trying to move the ball and get down the field and try to get 7. Make good decisions. Full playbook is still open to you at this point in the game. Looks like the conditions are not particularly favorable right now with some of the skill position players on the Jets. Even Altoon. Rob Moore going into good makes him a little more serviceable, but, definitely a unfavorable situation having Boyer and Toon in bad condition, and I believe one of the running backs as well was also in that situation. Great tapping ability. Most players would have been gobbled up by that dive because they would not have tapped fast enough to get out of that grapple in time. So those that say tapping doesn't matter, it matters depending on the situation. It's not the end-all, be-all, but it can turn 2 yards into 50. We've seen it many times. Unfortunate sequence there, catch, fumble, and I didn't see if it was Boyer, but if you left Boyer in the game, that ball control would have gone down to 44 out from 50, and that definitely increases the risk. So that's the risk you take when you leave bad players in, even if they're better than other players across the board elsewhere. That ball control is something that matters if they're getting tackled inside the field of play there. So, and Ryan just efficiently moving the ball. Good mix here. And just a frame late, I think. If he was another yard back, that's a touchdown. Great idea. Just even with Elway, tough to make that throw happen. You almost have to let it go immediately to the point where you don't have the ability to react to the situation. You just have to decide that's where you're going with the ball. Wide open receiver there on pass forward did not catch the ball. Looks like Humphrey is a bottle up here. And Wisely, as much as you'd like to say, well, I can finish this off here, you're going up 3 scores here if you get this in. And Clifton was able to break through there. Typically, you see this close, people just mash that arrow. There's always that risk of someone getting through. And, Ryan wanted to be sure that the arrow was where he wanted it to be, and it all worked out. So he's got a 3-score lead, 17-0. Definitely an uphill climb here for Arn. If he can manage to get himself at least a field goal on this possession, then the full playbook is still open here. Minute 12 as we're commenting here. Blair Thomas out near the 30-yard line. He's definitely going to want to keep this up. Most times you'll see people kind of sitting in a more of a pass type of call on defense. Keep everything in front of them, kind of the bend but don't break. I don't know if that dive was necessary there by Ryan. I think he could have sustained the grapple long enough for the drones to get there and do the rest. If anything would have slowed him down in that situation, Arn was able to continue running forward. And now he's got a problem. That time there were just one too many blockers, and could not make that play. Very impressive by Arn, just going straight runs across the board and making this a football game. We now have a score of 17-7, despite all of the bad luck so far that Arn has endured, including a called play on 4th down that led to a 1st and goal from the 6-yard line for Ryan. It's a 2-score game, and he's going to have the ball back. So if he can get points on this next possession, you'll be within 1 score, and you'll just have to tie it up by getting a stop and then going down to score one more time. So this is definitely a football game here. There's no these players here are veterans in the tournament scene, online and in the field. So. And it looks like right now the Tecmo gods, at least as far as conditions are concerned, are not favoring Arn at all. Doesn't have a lot to work with. He's going to have to be really patient trying to move this on the ground. Johnny Hector and Good kind of being the redeeming factor here. With the 2 running backs, it's a little weird to see the QB sneak on the the Jets. Typically, you'll see a mixed playbook between RB1 and RB2. I won't question someone who's probably a lot better than I am, but normally we see, at least with this team, I'm used to seeing usually the running backs are good enough where you're able to get something with the offset eyes and such. So the dive play probably a little more effective. I know that having Fletcher on the field does complicate that because he can LB forward, but you never know in that alignment. And if you force him to start there, that opens up that pass too. So, but anyway, moving on. Arn able to get up to the 40-yard line. This run play has been called multiple times now, but has also brought him success with Hector. And unfortunately, called that time for him, 7-yard loss. Now he's going to go down below. Atwater this time, the defender, gave up quite a bit on that one. Being interested to see if he would try to use Fletcher a little bit, try to engage one of those linemen, and then slow it up and let the drones try to clean it up. Offset eye playbook, Atwater, again the chosen defender. Looks like he's been running at Smith most of the game. This play has been probably the second most effective play of the day. Just kind of getting your yards in chunks. I think Ryan is probably playing the fumble game, trying to hope that maybe the ball gets put on the ground. Just playing conservatively. And with Atwater, he has a little bit higher hitting power. You do have, depending on condition, potentially a popcorn situation. He's certainly in a better position to stop those runs to the bottom. But Arn just taking what's given to him here. He's doing a great job. And went down on pass 3 before the wide receiver curled. It looked like the frame might have been there to potentially be open. It just can't complete it, which is always frustrating, and player condition probably plays a part in that. He tries to come back up top, but the defender is in a good position, and wisely Arn says, I need 2 scores. I'm going to get the first one here. Takes the 3. Kick arrow looks to be lined up, and it's good. 10-17 Arn. Trailing by 7. So Ryan hasn't seen the ball in a while. This is he went back-to-back possessions where Arn, this with the exception of the ending of the half kickoff. So let's see if he's still has his rhythm. He's got Arn breathing down his neck. If you can even get 3 on this possession, that'll be huge as the next player, so he'll probably be entering into the 4th quarter. Interesting, let me know in the comments, is that, you think in Arn's situation, is it a good idea to call a timeout in that situation? Force one more play into the 4th. But now we've got 2nd and long here. Dennis Bird, the drone defender, is able to get to Elway. Didn't really see, I was paying attention more to the receivers, and I'm wondering if that's exactly what happened to Ryan there. So, Ryan driving down the field, something of a risk there, knowing that the drone should have been in position. On 3rd down, typically a long ball like that is not a terrible idea if you're up against quite a long completion here. Unbelievable. Threading the needle to Clarence K up top. Overcoming a 3rd and 22 and to a stationary target. That's one of the strengths of Elway. If his control doesn't go out of whack and he doesn't throw out of bounds, that is one of the benefits of him. Quarterbacks like him and Billy Joe Tolliver, good examples of that. Bobby Brister can get it there in a hurry. You just gotta hope the defender's not there to pick it off. So another 3rd down coming here for Ryan, going with pass 3 shotgun, and now we get to play the dancing game. Unbelievable throw there across the field by Elway. I was very surprised that was completed, but the opening was there, but usually just the control isn't always there. Run 1 doesn't advance the ball at all. McMillan now underneath on pass 2. And Ryan not wanting to risk it there. He wants to make sure he gets at least another score on the board here. Wisely takes the sack. He's still in field goal range. Just needs to risky throw there, even with Elway. Defender's just too close. Would have liked to see even potentially just running out of bounds in that situation, unless, or maybe going up top. But really in that situation, very lucky that it was not intercepted. 10-20. 2 scores. It's going to be difficult here. The redeeming quality here, or the situation here for Arn, is that if he does score as player 1, he has the best chance of an onside kick. And if he gets one, you only need 1 second to throw a touchdown in this game. And with him having taps, if Ryan comes after him, he's going to lose that battle. So really got to get a touchdown quick or get into position and kick a field goal quick. And now the dilemma for Arn is, what piece of garbage do I want to send down the field to try to catch my pass? Because no one's looking real good right now. Toon, even in bad, has the highest receptions. And this is huge. A would-be touchdown. Ryan in the open field gets the diving tackle. Arn must be sick with himself. An almost touchdown stop by another jumping defender. And you got to think on this play, if he doesn't get it, do you kick the field goal? There's not enough time here on the clock. This has got to be the last play attempted. And the ball is fumbled. And the Broncos recover the fumble there. So my thought with just the remaining amount of time on the clock is that at some point there, that field goal had to be kicked, as much as you'd hate to give a touchdown attempt that close. Just for clock management, you have to get 2 scores in that situation, and knocking on the door, called play led to, well, quite frankly, the fumble there. So, but great game played by Ryan. Really nothing in the way of the Tecmo gods really went the way of Arn in that game. Obviously, he put himself in the hole early, but there were a number of situations there that led to, I remember multiple times here seeing fumbles going out of bounds. And it's just one of those things where I'm surprised that that last throw from Elway was not intercepted on that last drive right before the field goal coming from the Broncos and Ryan. So, but you do see elements here of just 2 very talented players going at it. For players that are newer, these are guys to watch and can learn a lot from. Are they perfect? Absolutely not. Are they really good players? You bet they are. And are they likely to stop in the ground for quite a while? Most likely they will. So I'd like to thank Ryan for sending me this upload. Good game to both of you, and we'll be doing commentary on your next game very soon. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. If you like Tecmo Super Bowl content, we have a whole bunch of this going on. We're in the midst of a GBLAN online Tecmo Super Bowl tournament. This is a group play game, and hit that subscribe button. You'll see more of it, and let us know what you thought about everything in the comments. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time on GBLAN Tecmo.